being fundamentally sound, me being defensive responsible, and just staying focused the whole fight.
You know, he said the Jose Benavidez fight was probably the toughest fight of his career. And I think you said back in the day you had your way with him in sparring. Is there anything to take away from that, or that you take away from it?
Nah, not at all. I mean, it was a good fight. He fought a one-legged Jose Benavidez, and it was a tough fight of his career. That says a lot.
What does it say?
I mean, he fought one-legged Jose Benavidez, so what do you think it says?
Well, what is Terence's best victory for you?
Probably, I would say, Gimpo.
Why do you say that?
I can't think of anybody else.
Did you say Postal? Was it Gimpo?
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Easy Root. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. With that being said, let's get into the video. Errol Spence Jr. is at it again, trying to take credit from Terence Crawford's resume, diminish the man resume, clown Terence Crawford. I remember they had a sit down, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, they had a sit down where they was asked to rate each other attributes, resume, everything. And Errol Spence gave Crawford a negative 0.05 on the resume, pretty much saying Crawford has a negative 0.05 resume if you had to rate it. It's crazy for the sport of boxing if you look at how Errol Spence can be that much of a casual fangirl himself and how he carries himself when it comes to the sport of boxing. No integrity, no respect, no class. He sounds like his own Earl Sexual. He's his own Earl Sexual. He has no respect, no morals, no class. He disrespects Terence Crawford's resume. And sometimes in the same breath, I mean, he's so fake, man. He's back and forth with it. One minute he says Terence Crawford's a great fighter. I can't wait to share the ring with him. The next minute he's disrespecting Crawford's resume. I mean, he's so fake. He's one of those fake ass friends that will tell you to your face, "Oh, bro, you're awesome. I love you, man. You're one of my best friends." And then behind your back talk a whole lot of shit on you, bro. This is the type of guy Errol Spence Jr. is. I know you guys like that one. This is the type of guy Errol Spence Jr. is. He'll smile in your face and then discredit you behind your back, which is disgusting for the sport of boxing. How Errol Spence carries himself. This is not how a guy who's supposed to be considered an elite level fighter, a role model to the sport of boxing. People are watching you, people are looking at you. And this is how you're carrying yourself. In one breath, you're crediting one of the greatest boxers to ever do it, Terence Crawford. He's one of the most accomplished fighters in all of boxing. In one breath, you're crediting this man. And in the next breath, you're diminishing his resume. You're destroying his credibility in the public. You're rating his resume a 0.5. It's disgusting how Errol Spence is carrying himself. It's really bad for the sport of boxing. I can't believe he does this. Let me go ahead and tell you what he did. So Errol Spence, before the Frank Martin fight, was asked a series of questions. You know, these guys are there for Frank Martin fight, but you know they were going to go for Errol Spence because this is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, Crawford versus Spence. You know they were going to go for Errol Spence and ask him the big questions. They asked him, they told him about Terence Crawford answers. They said, Terence Crawford said, Jose Benavidez was his toughest opponent. What do you think about that, Errol Spence? And Errol Spence laughs at it and he says, that tells you a lot about Terence Crawford. Jose Benavidez is his toughest opponent. That tells you he hasn't fought anybody. Because he's bragging about a one-legged guy who I punished in sparring. I have a sparring video of me punishing this guy. And this is Terence Crawford's best opponent that he fought so far. Oh, shit. I'm not gonna lie, it's funny, but it's disrespectful at the same time. It's very disrespectful, guys. Very disrespectful, but it's top level trolling. But I will say this and bring you guys back to reality. For example, Errol Spence is about to fight Terence Crawford. Y'all say Errol Spence Jr. is Terence Crawford's best opponent on his resume. What if he goes in there and makes this fight look so easy? And then you ask him a question, who was the best fighter on your resume? Or who gave you the toughest fight? Who gave you the toughest fight? That's the question, yes. The toughest fight on his resume. And he said it was Jose Benavidez, and Errol Spence said he has a tape of him punishing Jose Benavidez. What if Crawford goes in there and make the Errol Spence Jr. fight look easy like he did with the Sean Porter and Kell Brook? We know Sean Porter and Kell Brook is better than a Jose Benavidez. But that don't mean Jose Benavidez didn't put up a better fight than Sean Porter and Kell Brook. You see, boxing is a very tricky sport sometimes. You can say this is the best opponent on your resume. You go in there, and because styles make fights, you can make a fight look so easy. Like Caviasquez, a lot of people call Caviasquez a bum. Crawford went in there and had a difficult time with Caviasquez for the first couple of rounds. Crawford said he had something to prove. A lot of people was calling this guy a bum. You know, this guy's a former Olympian. Crawford said he should have boxed. And Caviasquez turned out to be a better fight than Kell Brook. Now, if we look on paper, we think Kell Brook is a better fighter than Caviasquez because Kell Brook been a world champion. He fought at the highest level. I mean, you know, this is the sport of boxing. You can't predict these stuff. On paper, y'all can say this guy is a better competition or a better fighter. And then on fight night, he looked worse than the guy that was supposed to be a tomato can. You can't really predict these stuff. Just because one guy does good against another guy doesn't mean he's going to do good against the same guy. Boxing is unpredictable sometimes. So Errol Spence needs to understand that. Crawford is only saying the guy that gave him the toughest resistance was Jose Benavidez, Gamboa, and Egas. And those guys, you guys call those guys tomato cans, but yet they gave Crawford some resistance. And the guys you said was better fighters, guys like American, Kell Brook, Sean Porter. Crawford handled those guys easier than the ones you call tomato cans. So, I mean, like I said, the sport of boxing is very unpredictable. We can't predict this stuff. You know, the guys we think is going to be real cakewalk, they turn out to be one of the toughest fights of your career, because we got to understand these guys are coming in there with a no lose mentality, like, oh, I got something to prove. You understand what I'm saying? I got something to prove against this pound for pound king guy. I got something to prove against this guy. This guy is a pound for pound king or whatever. I got something to prove against this guy. I have nothing to lose. They come in there with that nothing to lose mentality, and they try to put on a show with that nothing to lose mentality. So we gotta realize and stop calling these dudes tomato cans and stuff like that, and realize that the guys we say could be a guy toughest fight could just very well turn out to be one of the easiest fights of that guy's career. You understand what I'm saying? So we gotta stop doing that. And Errol Spence gotta stop being a casual. He knows what Crawford is saying. He says Jose Benavidez, who a lot of people say had one leg. So how did a guy with one leg put up a better fight than Sean Porter, Kell Brook, world champions who have done more than world champions who have done more than Jose Benavidez, the one-legged guy? We're talking about world champions like Sean Porter, Amir Khan, Kell Brook, Jeff Horn. How did Jose Benavidez put up a better fight than those guys? It's not making sense, you know. The sport of boxing is unpredictable sometimes. Just because a guy does good against one guy doesn't mean he's going to do good against the other guy. You know, and Terence Crawford's just being honest. He's going to give credit to where credit is deserved. He felt like Jose Benavidez gave him a tough fight. He felt like he just gave him a little tough fight as well. And Gamboa. So Errol Spence can laugh all he wants. If he goes in there and Crawford make that fight easy, he's not going to be laughing no more, is he? Jose Benavidez is still going to be one of Terence Crawford's toughest fight. And Errol Spence could very well be one of Terence Crawford's easiest fight. So laugh while you can now and cry later. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, I'm just here to bring you guys back to reality, guys. I'm just here to bring y'all back to reality. But the crazy thing about this situation, Errol Spence Jr. has become his own Earl sexual. He has literally become his own Earl sexual. And it's funny to watch, guys. It's really, really funny to watch. He's saying everything the Earl sexuals say. I don't know, is he trying, this is comedy or this is boxing? He's trying to be funny. Everything he does, he tries to be funny with it. And then after he says it, he laughs. But when he's face-to-face with Crawford, he don't keep that same energy. Or if he does, he's not laughing. When he says the bullshit he says, he's not laughing. He keeps a straight face. Like when Terence Crawford was saying, this is my era and all that. He said, oh, you haven't fought anybody. He looked aggravated. He looked mad. He looked aggravated. He looked upset. He looked like he didn't want to be there. You understand what I'm saying? But when he's by himself with the reporters, and these reporters are fanboys, they're yes men, who just tells Errol Spence everything he wants to hear. He's more relaxed. He can say nonsense out of his mouth without these reporters checking Errol Spence and telling Errol Spence, listen, buddy. You know, Crawford is just saying Jose Benavidez was his toughest fight. That doesn't mean Jose Benavidez was the best fighter on his resume. The toughest fight means the guy who put up a better fight. Not the best guy on my resume. I don't think people understand the difference. The best guy on my resume, name-wise, or the toughest fight. The guy who gave me the more resistance, who put up a better fight. Do you guys understand? He's not saying who's the better fighter on my resume. He's saying the guy who came to fight, who I had to figure out. And it was Jose Benavidez, because Jose Benavidez was the only guy who made it 12 rounds. Even though he got knocked out in the 12th round, but he almost made it past the 12th round, but then he got caught. So that's all Terence Crawford is saying, because the guy was too long, too tall, too big for 154. And Crawford, a small 147-pound fighter, was having trouble with the guy reach, whether he had one leg or not. His reach and his hand speed was giving Crawford problems in the earlier rounds. Crawford, master of adjustment, master art of boxing, kung fu boxing, you know. He was able to make the proper and necessary adjustments to finally get on the inside of Jose Benavidez and land his combinations. And he kept missing with the uppercuts until the 12th round when he cored him with a clean uppercut and he closed the show. It is what it is. You guys need to understand and tuck this boxing stuff in context and stop embarrassing yourself. Like Errol Spence is becoming his own Earl sexual and embarrassing himself on the internet. It's disgusting for the sport of boxing. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe button for more videos like this. It's your boy Easy Root, and I'm out.